Welcome to another Friday edition of GTFO. Growth Traffic Figures It Out. We are here with another Facebook Live. Today we are talking about TikTok. The dreaded TikTok. I have been forbidden by my almost 13-year-old from even using TikTok or going on TikTok or looking at his TikTok. I'm only allowed to look at TikTok videos that he deems are acceptable. So I must admit I am not a TikTok expert, but I know Dali and Dan, you've both used it a little bit more than me, or I hope you have. Otherwise we're going to have a very short conversation. So first things first. You are, well, I mean, in the loosest possible sense.
I don't know, Mama. Quite. I wouldn't say loosest possible sense.
Okay. Well, seeing as you're talking, Simon Daly, what's your name and where'd you come from?
My name is Simon Daly, and where do I come from? Well, I'm a director here at Growth Traffic.
Yeah.
Will that do? Do you want to specifically know where I come from? Like, where do I live?
We don't need to know about the generations of inbreeding that you come from. I think probably, Exton or Bacup will do. That's
I'm originally from Bacup. I've lived in. I'm originally from Exton. I live in Bacup now. I've lived here for a long time, actually. There's somebody at the door.
There is somebody at the door. I could just hear that, and usually they start waving at the window.
Right, you guys keep talking. Keep talking. I'll go and get the door.
We will. Daniel Buckley, what's your name and where'd you come from?
Well, my name is Daniel Buckley, and I come from Whitworth.
Do you come from Whitworth? You've always lived in Whitworth?
So my mum's side of the family are all from Whitworth. My dad's side of the family are all from Bury. And when I was born in Fairfield, and then I lived opposite Fairfield, near enough. And then we moved to Shawclough, which is near enough Whitworth. Anyway.
So all of these places are really roughly the same place, aren't they? You're not allowed to say that. Everybody gets really worked up here, don't they? If you say, well, it sounds like it's all the same place.
Oh, if I say I'm from Whitworth sometimes, and then I describe where I am in Whitworth, people are like, well, that's not Whitworth, that's Face It. Whitworth.
Yeah. I once got told off for saying that Weir was in Bacup. Apparently. Yeah. Completely different cities.
Also, is it really called Face It or Facet?
It depends who you speak to and how old they are and how Lancashire they are.
Go on, which one's the old one?
I think Face It is the older, more Lancashire one.
Right, okay.
Daniel Buckley, quickly tell us about Photos, please.
Photos is my company. I'm self-employed, so there's only me. And I specialise in commercial video and commercial photography.
Yeah. And are you a prolific user of TikTok, or you just a lurker? Or
I do lurk. I have posted some videos. But I'm not that keen on being world famous. However, I know the app extremely well. Ridiculously overuse it in a day. I mean, hours. Right. It's horrendous. Yeah. I can waste hours and hours. Sorry, I got really distracted then. For some reason, Isn't She Lovely's just come on Alexa upstairs.
Oh, okay.
So I'm just going to go and tell Alexa off. Just excuse
me. All right. There we go. Talking about creepy algorithms. That's interesting, isn't it? Haunting algorithms. My name's Rachel Weinhold, also from Growth Traffic, also live in Bacup. And I have, as I say, I've periodically been on TikTok. Mainly when I go on TikTok, it's because somebody has sent me a link to go and watch a video that's funny, and I watch that video, and then usually I'll watch one more that will pop up, and then I think, I ain't got time for this, I'm going to get sucked in, my life is going to be taken away from me by TikTok, and I'll never get away. So I generally shut it down at that point. I think one of the things about TikTok, TikTok was the fastest growing app last year. It's just phenomenal in terms of the rise of TikTok, and one of the things that has enabled it to do that and do it so well is because that algorithm is so good, so much better. Yeah, I mean, if you think about Facebook and stuff, the Facebook people always say that the whole point of a social media algorithm is that their goal is to keep you on their platform as long as possible, and Facebook recently seems to have sort of lost its way. I think even Instagram recently, people are starting to fall out with it. Too many ads, too many, promotional things, not the type of content that people really want to see. Whereas TikTok, it has nailed it, hasn't it? It just keeps showing you video after video after video of things that you really want to see. I mean, even with the limited sort of interaction that I've had on it, it knows I like horses. And one of the first thing every time I go on, the next thing it shows me is a video of a horse, because it knows that that's what I'm interested in just from that short space of time. I mean, Dan, like how well does the TikTok algorithm know you?
Too well. I've just had a little look on my phone. It's embarrassing to actually turn this screen on and show you, but this is for this week, daily average.
Wow. 2 hours, 6 minutes a day.
That is embarrassing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I will. Here's the thing. I don't really. Well, I don't
Go out.
watch television.
All right. Okay.
So
Do anything
I
else.
do have a TV screen in my front room. However, it's not
Yeah.
connected to TV.
Yeah.
I have Netflix on it, which I seldom use. And I am much more happy on YouTube and on TikTok. But at the moment, I'm favouring the latter, not the former.
That's interesting. Forgive me if it's a rude question, Dan, but how old are you?
30.
Right.
Are you?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were about 28.
Thank you.
There's a massive difference, isn't there? 28 and 30.
Huge.
Dali, how often do you use Twitter? TikTok, even?
I kind of fall in and out of love with it, really. Mainly because it can suck hours out of your day and your life. So I do that thing where I'm on it for similar to what Dad obviously does. Like 2 hours later, I'm like, why am I scrolling through this crap?
Well, I mean, but
and
this
then
is the thing.
I stop myself watching it for a bit.
The algorithm is that good. That's the problem with TikTok. It is, and people like you who fall out with it are the ones that are like, no, I have far more productive things to do with my time. Whereas people like me are like, no, everything else can wait. I'm watching TikTok now. This is me time.
Well, you see, one of the things that TikTok's done that is very, very clever is that every other social media app, you have to do the scrolling. I have to, if I land on my Facebook feed, I have to manually use my finger to scroll through that. TikTok doesn't. It just keeps playing. It just keeps playing you the next video and the next video and the next video.
I mean, you go to the next video, but you're not looking through for it. You flick to the next video, but you're not, if you're looking through Facebook, typically you log on to Facebook, you scroll through a few different things, you look and you're not really interested in most of the stuff that's coming, up that page.
Yeah.
And then you go off it. Some people accidentally get stuck on the videos on Facebook because 90% of the videos recently that are on Facebook, the little shorts and stuff, the little videos, are old TikToks. So I went through a stage probably about a year ago now, maybe, I don't know, whenever it was, and I found it really comical because all the people that had been saying to me, oh, TikTok's this, TikTok's that, oh, it's so rubbish, blah, I don't know why you're on that, oh, it's for dancing, blah, 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 which is not, it's a misconception. All kept saying, oh, I saw this really funny video on Facebook the other day and it was this and this. And I'm thinking, I saw that like 12 months ago.
Yeah. And this is the interesting thing. Funnily enough, we have got a session coming up about this in a few weeks. But it's that thing of actually all of our all of our social media platforms are just taking us through to the same content. Most of the videos on Instagram, most of the videos on Facebook, they are just TikToks. And in fact, a lot of the shorts and stuff that are now on YouTube, they're just TikToks. You know, as you say, the videos that were on there a year ago. You know, quite often I will find something, a video, a TikTok or something that I think is funny, and I'll send it to Leon because we purely communicate through sending each other TikToks or memes nowadays. And he will say, "Oh, gosh, I saw that ages ago." You know, so it is, isn't it? It's that sort of recycled content, and we will come on to that. But let's get into we've been talking for 10 minutes. Let's get into why we're actually here. So one of the things we're talking about today is using TikTok for business purposes. So using it to either promote your business, grow your audience, grow your customers, you know, whatever your end goal is. The one of the reasons, you know, a couple of statistics about TikTok, I've already said it was one of the fastest growing platforms, but 90% of the people who have a TikTok account are under 50. 70% of the daily active users on TikTok are under 40, which is why I asked you your age, Dan. You know, if you are marketing to Gen Z, they are on TikTok. That is their primary channel. That's where they're going to be. And so, you know, if they are a part of your target audience for your business, if they're your target customers, you've got to be on TikTok. You've got to move with the times and get there, because that's where they are. That's where they're having the conversations. So I think we've got top 5 tips for you today on sort of how to maximize using TikTok if you want to speak to that audience. And our number 1 tip number 1, same one we have really with everything, and it is have a plan. It's always going to be the first one that we do. And when we say have a plan, doesn't need to be, you know, a 12-page business plan that you've sat down and wrote out. You just need to know, what are you trying to achieve by doing this? And by that, as I, you know, some of the things I listed before, are you trying to sell more products? Are you trying to grow your share of the audience? Are you just trying to build a little bit more brand awareness? You know, you might think I'm going on TikTok because I want to grow my business, but specifically what are you trying to get? Because the way that you are, the goal that you have will determine how you go about using TikTok. Dan, anything on that one?
Just to add to your sort of demographics information before, I mean, here's the thing. I would suspect that most businesses want their customers to be somewhere between 20 and 50.
Yeah.
They are great customers to have, the ones that you can build brand loyalty with and that you can have repeat business through, etc., etc. And over 60% of the users on TikTok now are between 20 and 40, and that doesn't account for, you know, the 18 to 20-year-olds, because unfortunately TikTok groups it up to 19, from 10 to 19. It's a really annoying group that they have there. But it's a huge audience, all waiting to interact with you, all waiting to you know, follow whatever direction you can give them, basically.
And like you say, you know, get them young and you've got all of those decades of loyalty. But I mean, from a sort of general social media point of view as well, you know, and this is not unique to TikTok, this accounts for all of the platforms. But if you are attracting new customers through social media, they are much more likely to already be engaged with you by the time that they either walk through your door, pick up the phone, press buy, you know, go on your website, whatever it might be, because they've seen some of your content, they've engaged with it, they've acknowledged in some way that they like it, or they want to share it, or they want to follow it, whatever it might be. So they are a much more engaged audience. And if you can hook those people in, as you say, you know, you've already got a bit more captive. You've got all of those years of brand loyalty. You can have that conversation with them that goes on a bit longer. Dali, what do you think about this, sitting there in your old man rocking chair?
Well, I'm 41, and I've
Which
been on
is
TikTok.
very old for TikTok.
Very old for TikTok, but then I've always been an early adopter, haven't I, of all the new stuff.
Yeah, gosh,
That's a thing that I'm well known for.
Yeah.
They all say that about me.
Any point that's not about you? Any comment more generally about TikTok rather than
Yeah.
Simon Daly?
What I was going to say, I was actually going to say that I think that TikTok probably gets the most reach out of most social media platforms at the moment for posting put out there. So if you can capitalize on it, now is the time to get content out there. It'll only be a year or two before they start turning all that down.
100% agree with this. This is something that I was going to bring up today. Is I feel like there are a couple of years left to really utilize TikTok.
Yeah, and again, this is what we've seen with all of the platforms. You know, you think about Facebook. You used to get the organic reach that you could get as a business on Facebook was massive, and then they said, "Well, hang on a minute. You know, if you're a business and you're using our platform to market yourself, we want some revenue out of you. You know, we want some money." So all of that organic reach went down, and all of a sudden, you've got to go towards this pay model. And you know, I get it; they're a business as much as anybody else, aren't they?
Yeah, Facebook, introduced Facebook business pages. I think it was about 2012, and it was about a good year where the reach on them was brilliant, and you got loads of reach on it. But maybe 2 years, and then after that, the reach just plummeted.
Well, they hook you in, don't they? They hook you in with those sweet statistics, and you think you're doing marvelously, and then all of a sudden, like, bam, you got to pay for it now. And you're absolutely right. That's what all of these platforms do. And so, yeah, I mean, to some extent, you know, TikTok now it's been sort of on the household word for a couple of years. Some people might think, well, it's not the brand new thing, is it? It's old hat already. But actually, there is still that potential. You're absolutely right. Get in there now, and still you've got a couple of years of getting that reach out of it. Okay, so number one, have a plan. What are you trying to achieve? Because that will determine everything else that you do afterwards. Tip number two. Do your research. And again, it sounds a little bit like have a plan, but what we mean here is have a look at what are other people on TikTok doing? What are other businesses doing? One of the biggest problems that I first had when we first started looking at TikTok and stuff was thinking, what on earth are we going to post? Especially if we are a sort of intermediary. So we're an agency posting on behalf of a client. What on earth are we going to post about on TikTok? How do we create that content if it's all dancing and, you know, prancing about and stuff? But when you look at what businesses are doing and how they're creating content, the type of content that they're creating, it's not, as you said before, Dan, it's not dancing around, is it? And there is a vast variety in terms of the content that they're creating. I mean, Leon, my son, our son, in fact, he buys quite repeatedly from this like American sweet shop. And all they do on their videos is they do videos of them boxing up orders, and that's it on TikTok. And he, you know, quite often will then go and buy something because he's seen them boxing it up for somebody else. I would just never have thought of that. So, you know, do your research and have a look what's out there. What do you think, Dan?
Yeah, I mean, I think my dog's a knob.
He loves TikTok.
There's some dogs barking outside, and obviously that means that you've got to kick off, even though you're inside 18 inches to the stone wall away from them.
Yeah, well, I'm surprised Fern hasn't barked yet.
Just bear with me. Sorry.
Well, Fern, who sat behind me, our dog, she was trying to bark at the postman before I just managed to put myself on mute on that.
Oh, bless her.
What I think is this. Piss off. Sorry.
It's all right. We swear like troopers.
TikTok was at one stage for dancing and prancing around, as you said.
Yeah.
It was Musically. And it was for singing and lip syncing and blah blah blah.
The dog agrees.
Yeah. Oh, bless it.
What I was gonna say here though is that you know it is absolutely look at what competitors are doing. Look at what people that you want to emulate in some ways are doing in terms of the way that they do their marketing. You don't have to just copy what they do. And I always think that, you know, you can work out how to do things better or differently or do it in your own style, because you're going to have to make it authentically you. But then on the other thing on TikTok is the TikTok trends, where you've got all those little things that all the little, I don't know, the music, some of the songs that kind of get picked up and then kind of snowball, and you can by just utilizing some of those trends, sometimes you can, or you know, get a lot more reach from your posts.
So it's
I
about
think
looking at what
cycle back
on,
round to the sounds thing, because I think it is important enough to deserve its own little bit, to be honest with you.
Yeah, we'll talk about that
To
properly in a
start
minute.
at the start. So, as I said, it was Musically, became TikTok. It did have a reputation for being for young girls to lip sync to. It's not that anymore. We've covered the demographics completely different now. If you are looking to use TikTok to push your business forward, I recommend starting with a new account. If you've already got one and you've been on it, scrolling through and liking random stuff, start with a new account.
Oh,
Okay?
that's interesting. Why'd you say that?
So, two things. Number one, TikTok will push new accounts forward a little bit sometimes in the algorithm.
Okay.
Number two, you can curate your account. So, and I said that correctly. I didn't mean create, I mean curate.
You're right.
What I'm saying there is that you can go on and find other businesses in your niche. You can make your account about your business. It will give you relevant content to your business. You spend a couple of hours on it, scrolling through, liking the videos that are within your niche, following the creators that are within your niche, and then it will start to feed you back. And the algorithm on TikTok is fast, really fast.
Yeah,
So it only needs a couple of hours to absolutely pinpoint what you're all about and what videos you like and what you're, you know, really after. So do it with a business mind. If you're a florist, then like all the posts about flowers that are relevant to you that you think are good. Follow the accounts that are people doing flower arranging, floristry, whatever. And then it will give you that edge.
But also, because then, like you say, it's about taking that, having a look at what those people in in your sector and people in other sectors, you know, have a look at what they're doing, and then taking that and making that authentically yours. But that's a really good tip about sort of starting again, so that you've got, as you say, curated, that you're seeing the type of content that is relevant to you, because then that thing about the algorithm, and we keep coming back to this algorithm and how quickly it learns people. But it makes you niche. It makes you niche as a viewer because of the way it hones in on what you like and keeps showing you the same stuff. So it's much less possible or advisable to be a sort of generalist, you know, on Facebook or even LinkedIn or whatever. We're always saying, do a variety, big variety, you know, share stuff about the people and your business and your customers and your conferences you've been to and all the rest of it. Actually, on TikTok, because viewers become trained, for want of a better word, by the algorithm to go so niche, it is more important that you, as a business and a content creator, sort of stick to your area, isn't it?
Yeah,
And
I would say that there's nothing wrong with the occasional post that's slightly outside your niche. If you can keep it slightly outside but still relevant in some way, shape, or form, that's fine. Because what you might find is that you bring a few new audience members in who didn't know they wanted to be part of your niche, but you know, realize that they do. I would say keep 80% of your content as a sort of minimum focused on whatever you are purveying.
There you go. Marvelous. Excellent word. I think the other thing as well, when we're saying about do your research is, obviously social media platforms and stuff, they're constantly changing. They're constantly evolving. But TikTok has now got a TikTok for business, like Facebook has Facebook for business. And it allows you to do a variety of things. If you want to go down the paid route, it allows you to explore things like branded hashtag challenges, branded effects. You can also obviously do paid. You've got in-feed ads, you've got top view ads. I'm reading this because I've got honestly very little idea what they all are. But essentially, there are now tools that TikTok is giving you as a business owner to help you either promote paid or organically promote your business. So have a look into those and see which one of those is going to be the best one for you. So that, that's also what we mean by do a bit of research. Anyway, we've already been talking for 25 minutes. We've only covered 2 points, and those were the ones that I wanted us to gloss over. So we may be here a while. So tip number 1, have a plan. Understand your why, what you're trying to achieve specifically, because that will determine everything else. Number 2, do your research. Have you got the right account? Have you curated it correctly? Are you going to be using the right type of content? Do you want to go down a paid route? What is everybody else posting? Have a look. Number 3, have a content calendar. Again, this is one that we're always saying when we're talking about content, but it's really important, although we've just said, go down your niche, be specific, but it's really important that even within that, you are creating an interesting array of content. So a content calendar will help you do that. It takes some of the stress out, means you know what's coming up. You're not having to think every time you come to make a video, but it just helps you have a little bit of variety and keep it interesting. Who wants to take this one?
I'll take it. Content calendars. It kind of comes back to having a plan, but your content calendar is. We all can create different types of content, and what I find is, even if you know who your target audience is, what your message is, your positioning, and all the rest of it, if you try and create content on the fly, day in, day out, you end up creating very similar content. And you end up scratching your head before you know it. So by creating a content calendar, as in, this is what I'm going to produce on this day, you might align some of that to things that are going on during the year that might be relevant to your business. Maybe if you're a more consumer-oriented brand, you might align to things like bank holidays or Easter, Christmas, that type of stuff. Or just have a content calendar that says, I'm going to produce a bit of content about this subject on these days. And I mean, I did it on TikTok. So I did like SEO / digital marketing glossary terms, where I just did just under a minute, where I provided some information about a specific topic. I created a content calendar of about 150 or something words that I'd kind of explore. Dan actually gave me some really good feedback on that when I was about halfway through. And actually, he gave me some good feedback. He gave me
some of that feedback, but not all
some
of
of
it.
the feedback. Right, so some of the feedback that he gave me, really, really good one. He made me start using sounds and music in those videos. The music was popular. He made me start to use some of the icons and different things in there as well. I had to kind of phase these things in because I think that's another thing. You can, when you're learning to use a piece of software, which essentially TikTok is, then you can't do everything all at once. So sometimes it's better to just crack on with your content calendar and bring an element in, as you kind of perfect things. And then the other thing that Dan did suggest, which I thought was really helpful, was that I was producing a glossary, essentially, just a definition of a term. There was no relevance to the person watching there was relevance, but there was no tip about how the person watching it could use the information that was given them. So I included that as well. Got some good likes out of it, so I think.
Okay. Yeah, and I mean the thing about a content calendar as well is that, like you said before, the hardest thing is starting to create content and not knowing what you're doing. Whereas what you find is if you start to write a content calendar, very quickly you will come up with lots of different ideas. And by keep spooling back to what's your plan, and having done your research, looking at other businesses, taking advice, listening to advice as you did, Dally, from people that were watching, all that kind of stuff. It just helps you put a little bit of sense onto all of that so that you've got a little bit of strategy. Dan, what do you think about content calendars?
Yeah, an essential, really. My tip for making content calendars: 2 tips. Number one, chances are, if you are looking at starting using TikTok for your business, you are already using some other form of social media for your business. Unless you're very young and very new to business, etc. So, look, if you've been posting on Instagram or LinkedIn or Facebook for the past 3 years, you've got loads and loads of content there that you can recycle, upcycle, and use to create your content calendar to give you a springboard for making more content. The other thing, and it cycles back around to this curating your account. If you're looking at other creators on TikTok that are doing really well in your niche, look at the videos that they're doing, understand why them videos are doing either well or not very well. And there's nothing wrong with using their video as a template for yours, so long as you're not literally ripping them off completely.
Yeah.
Use the entire template, but personalize it to you.
We're back to that authenticity thing again, isn't it? Like you say, and this is fine with that. We say this with blogs, we say this with all sorts of content. If somebody's doing something well and it's working for a reason. So how can you take that, the essence of what they're doing that's working, but put your spin on it, but make it relatable to your business and your customers specifically? And there will always be a way. And yeah, it might be a little bit of trial and error. It might be a little bit of putting something out and taking feedback and seeing, what's working and why isn't it quite working. But absolutely, there will always be a way of doing that. And if you have a content calendar and you're writing down that strategy, it just helps you keep track of it and learn as you go and adapt as you go. So yeah, absolutely. So number one, have a plan. Number two, do your research. Number three, write a content calendar. It doesn't have to be complex, but at least some sort of strategy. Number four, we're finally at number four, create your videos. All of those first three steps are sort of the planning bit of it. Now we're at, create your videos. And I really think this is the point where people panic. And I see this time and time again. It's really easy for us to do a strategy for somebody, to do a bit of, do some keyword research, come up with some content that we want them to cover, put it into a nice content calendar, make it look pretty. When it comes to actually creating the content, that's where they struggle. And I think one of the big reasons that people struggle with TikTok is, it's easy to sit down at a laptop and write a blog, or it's easy to create a bit of a graphic or whatever. If you think now I've got to film a video and it's got to look professional, and I might have to script it and I might have to act, and then I've got to put music on it, and then I've got to put text on it, it just feels like an awful lot more work. And so people build it up in their heads to make it into a big thing. And actually, Dan, that's the opposite of what TikTok should be, isn't it? Maybe that's YouTube potentially.
Yeah, I mean,
Really.
well, on any of them, there's nothing wrong with being slightly polished, with framing your shots nicely, with having nice lighting, but they're not essentials on TikTok. A lot of content that I watch, obviously, everyone now knows I've got a dog. A lot of content that I watch on TikTok, because TikTok knows I've got a dog. It worked it out very, very, very quickly. Is dog trainers and things like that, and a lot of them will be giving you tips, hints, things that are going to help you, opinions that they think are useful to you, and they're literally stood outside, walking around, holding the phone like this and talking to the phone. And it is as absolutely simple as, guys, you need to be doing this, we think this, blah 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 blah, bang, done.
Yeah.
That's it. And these guys are earning fortunes off the back of, guys and girls, earning fortunes off the back of establishing themselves as the experts on a platform of young dog owners.
Yeah. I mean, like I said before, TikTok very quickly worked out that I like horses, and it will show me, some of the videos are horses that are show jumping. So if somebody's taken a video of the horse doing jump, but a lot of them are riding lessons of some kind, or, a horse, a farrier, or a horse
Love
dentist,
them.
equine dentist, or whatever, so it is a specialist showing you something, and they literally are, they're out in the yard and they've got the phone and they're saying, all right, now this is the thing that I'm seeing and here's a quick video of it. And I think really, this is, if you are a business and if you've reached that point where you are not able to make your content because you're worried that it's not going to look professional, or you're not going to get it right, you don't know what to do, sometimes just, Dali, you said it before, just do it, just film it, and if it's shit, you can improve it as you go along. But sometimes it's better to just film it and get it out there. That's what you did, isn't it, Dali?
Yeah, I'm when I started doing my kind of SEO digital marketing glossary terms, I kind of accepted to myself that it was going to be crap to start off with, and I knew that, and I just thought I just need to do it. I just need to get on with it, because I need to figure out how I'm going to do this, but I'm only going to figure that out as I go along. And what I actually did as well is I set up a WhatsApp group with my godson, my son, and my niece, who were like probably sub 10 at the time, and got them to give me feedback because they use TikTok regularly. So and got some ideas from them. Then I asked Dan. Dan gave me some ideas of how I could improve it. But I was very I was incremental in how I kind of developed the videos that I was putting out there, because I wanted to make sure that I could consistently do it and not overwhelm myself.
But most people learn by doing as well. I mean,
Yeah.
that's practical, isn't it? That's how most people learn. And businesses, just because you're a business, it's no different, unless you are obviously, a massive brand, unless you're Burger King or Pepsi, then yeah, you're probably going to need to think about it. But for most of us, it's absolutely fine for us to start with some low production videos of us saying, giving our expertise. Again, as you said, Dan, it's about positioning yourself as the expert in your field. You want to be the go-to person for your thing in your community, whether that's your geographical community or your networking community or whatever. So it's just about, how am I going to demonstrate that? And then, build it up from there.
So one of the things that I would say in terms of actually how you go about doing it as well is one of the reasons that I wanted to kind of do the glossary terms on TikTok is that if I try and talk for any length of time, I just end up kind of rude, waffly, and rambly, as you've probably noticed on this podcast already.
No.
But TikTok gave me a 1 minute time constraint, so I had to get all that information in one place in 1 minute. And to begin with, I did just piece of camera, or my phone really, piece of my phone camera, and it had to last a minute. But actually doing that was pretty difficult to get everything out that I wanted to say. I gave myself a little script for each one and tried to stick to it, get everything out. And quite often I'd find myself re-recording these things. Or, I could, when I started, it took me, say, a couple of hours to get, or an hour and a half or so, an hour and a half to get a video that I was happy with that was a minute long. Because I'd like forget what I was saying, or I'd get it wrong, or so. I suppose some people might use a bit of a script, but I didn't like that. I wanted it to be a bit more
off the cuff. Go on, Dan. What are you going to say?
Can I just finish one point? But so what I was going to say is that what I found afterwards is to improve that is to break down the video into shorter videos of like 10 seconds long each, and just change the camera angle, and then you cut between the different videos, and everything's fine.
All right.
Sorry,
Well,
Dan, what were you going to say?
I think you've stolen Dan's thunder. Go on,
Stolen
Dan.
my
Oh, I'm
thunder, how
sorry.
dare you.
Tips
So
for
this is
people
one of the
then
big
that want to
things that I
film it.
tried to explain to you, Simon, at the start was people try, because they're creating content, they go, right, I'm going to do a catch-all. I'm going to put this on Facebook. I'm going to put it on Instagram. I'm going to put it on TikTok. I'm going to put it on YouTube. These are all filmed in different formats. So TikTok is vertical video. Don't put horizontal video on TikTok. It ends up literally taking up this much of your screen in the middle, and it's not very engaging. Film in app for TikTok. If you download that and put it on your Instagram afterwards, whatever, if you reshoot it for Instagram afterwards, even better.
Can I just repeat that? Because I think that's really important. What you said there was film in app. If you're putting a
100%.
TikTok up, don't film it on your phone's camera and then put it into TikTok, which is what we would do if we were doing a Instagram reel or a Facebook reel or whatever.
YouTube.
You do it that way, yeah. But you're saying film it natively in the app itself.
Film it in the app. Now, the benefits of this are multiple, or at least twofold, but multiple, I'm going to say.
Yeah, well, that's multiple, yeah.
Yeah.
More than one.
The benefits of it are multiple, but here's the big one. If you're going to take an hour and a half to film something because you're going backwards and forwards, deleting it, redoing it, going, no, I've stumbled over my words, redoing it, break it down into really small clips. And here's the thing with TikTok. If you go onto the app, yeah, I'm just going to do it now whilst we're here. So on your app, you've got your home screen, you press the plus button there, and you're straight in to be able to record. If you press and hold that button there, so you can choose a 3 minute, 60 seconds, or a 15-second video. Let's do a 60-second video. You press and hold that button, you record your piece, you stop, you press and hold the button again, you record your next piece, you stop. Now, if you messed up in that little, 5-second, 10-second clip, you delete that 10-second clip, but you're not deleting all the other
Whole
5
thing.
that you did before that with all the useful information where you hadn't stumbled.
Okay. Yeah. Top tip. Thank you. Just quickly then, I've 2 questions about this. I just want to talk about sort of music. We touched on music before. So, I mean, music is massive, isn't it, in TikTok?
It's a huge part of TikTok.
Choosing the right song or getting the wrong song, I mean, that could be make or break, couldn't it? And when we say music, technically we mean audio, because a lot of
It sounds.
Yeah, it sounds, because a lot of it is like there's a lot of kind of children talking, or memes, if you like, that are then played over. A lot of the ones that I see are like horses that somebody's put a child talking over the top
It
of.
goes, I'm just a baby.
Yeah, or that child going, nope, I am not doing that. Nope, that sort of thing. So it's audio, isn't it? How big a role does audio play, Dan?
Huge. So sounds trend for one. They literally, I genuinely think that TikTok has the ability to control the charts as it is now. And most of the songs that you will hear on radio and things like that have come through TikTok. A massive one, Kate Bush. Kate Bush has been absolutely played to death recently. Now, I have been quite a long time fan of Kate Bush. But a lot of people had never heard of her. And then Stranger Things used Running Up That Hill. Every person who's watched Stranger Things is on TikTok. All of a sudden, they started using that sound on TikTok, and then it just took over the world. The world was revolving around Kate Bush for a little while. But the kind of an easy way of thinking about it, and it's not a very precise way of thinking about it, but if you're new to TikTok, an easy way of thinking about it is sounds are a little bit like hashtags. So certain genres will use certain sounds more specifically. Quite often the animal ones have like children talking over them, because obviously we think that that's super cute and blah, blah, blah. It does well. There's one going around at the moment that's a corn one. Some little kid who was talking about corn. Someone's turned it into a music track. And it is super popular at the moment. But if you associate your video with that sound, if you will, what TikTok's going to do in the algorithm, to put it really simply, is go, all right, well, every time that this user over here has watched a video with this sound attached to it, they've watched the full video. You've created a video with that sound attached to it. Let's try and offer it out to these people that are interested, and see how well it does. And it cycles back to what you said before. TikTok, it's within their best interest to keep you on that app for as long as physically possible as a consumer of their content. So the better the content, the more chance they think there is going to be a long watch time on your video, the more likely your video is going to get sent out.
I mean, we're back to that. I mean, when we're doing social media training with clients, the basic point is social media platforms only make money if you are on the social media platform. They don't make money off you if you're not there. So they don't care about, you going, they want you to stay there for as long as they possibly can. And if you, as a content creator, are helping them keep people on the platform for longer, they will reward you. They will reward you by keep showing your content to people because you're helping them do their job. So it's basic that, create content that people will want to watch, and use the popular pieces of music or use the popular soundtracks, the more sort of funny and interesting and whatever you can make it, then obviously the better it's going to be. Would you recommend that people put text over? I know there's a lot of thing with like putting text over something, but the problem with text, and I've seen quite a lot of backlash about this recently, is if you have text over and the audio reads it out, so visually impaired screen readers and stuff read it out, they read it out in that horrible robotic voice, and I've seen a lot of people getting really cross about that recently. So if, for example, the recent thing is like, POV, point of view, I don't know, your horse is angry, and so the robot voice will go, POV, your horse is angry, and people get angry.
Right. Where's that computer from? Is that like some...
It's Cardiff. Cardiff.
Yeah, India. It's a very multicultural computer. But people are getting annoyed about it. So do you think it's worth putting, stickers and text and emojis and stuff across the screen, or do you think that makes it too busy? Do you think it depends on the business?
I think do it. So here's the thing with TikTok. It's very, let's say, fickle. You literally can consume 10 videos in 10 seconds if you are not engaging well with the content. So you can log on to TikTok and you literally flick through next. There you go. That's a perfect example of why you shouldn't film it inverted in horizontal, by the way.
Okay.
Look at all this here and here. Now I know she's doing a green screen on that one, but that's far more engaging.
Actually,
full screen of video than that is. Yeah. So but basically, if you're scrolling through, before someone's had a chance to go and start speaking, they've seen what your video's about. If you've got a thing saying how to grow your business, how to do this, how to do that, this is why you should do it, 10 reasons why you should visit Malta, whatever it be, if that's on the screen when someone flicks up, even if they scroll past it, the brain's already gone, oh, hold on a minute, I'm going to Malta, bang, scroll back down again, I need to watch that, that's really interesting information for me. So I really recommend doing that. The other thing that I really recommend is using closed captions on your videos. TikTok's a really, really inclusive community, and it goes through little weird stages. There was one point where literally if you didn't put closed captions on your video, you were a prick, basically. Right. And there's times where people are not going to be using the volume on the phone. Whilst volume is a massive, sound is a massive part of TikTok, there are circumstances where someone is going to go onto TikTok out of boredom on the bus or in
waiting in a hospital waiting room.
Where they can't use the audio. There's going to be people with hearing impairments that go on that can't hear it. You're excluding all them people out of your video if you don't have captions. There are times. The other day there was a video and I was really, really wanting to watch it because it's from a creator I really like. They virtually never use closed captions on the video, and subtitles, if you will. That's what people call them, although that's for languages. But yeah, they hadn't done it, and I was kind of peeved by it at the time because I was like, I really wanted to watch what this is about. They'd used a thing saying this is why you should or whatever, and then I couldn't hear it.
That's really interesting, isn't it? Because this is we've been saying this for a while in SEO. This is a massive push that Google is doing, and the search engines generally, but to make the internet more accessible, to make it a more
as it should
inclusive
be.
place. Yeah, exactly as it should be. And for making it better for the visually impaired or hearing impaired or whatever. It's interesting that shift has now gone. That it's expected from, especially from like the Gen Zers, they want that inclusive society or app or whatever it might be, don't they? So yeah, it's interesting. Okay, I'm going to move us on because time is marching on. I did have a question, and it was really, really good, and I cannot for the life of me remember what it was. So let's just assume in this space here that I've asked a really intelligent question about content creation.
Yeah,
okay. That was really that was a great question.
It was, yeah.
Our answer to that question was equally profound.
It would be amazing, yeah. Okay. Anyway, moving on. Right. So, tip number 1: have a plan. Tip number 1: do your research. They sound the same, but they're a little bit different.
Which one's number 1 then?
All the same when you call them both tip number 1.
Yeah, call them both tip number 1. There we go. I was so amazed by my amazing question that I forgot how to count. Tip number 1: have a plan. Know what you're trying to achieve. Have a goal. It helps everything else. Tip number 2: do your research. What is everybody else doing? What have a look and how can you use that and make it authentically yours? Tip number 3: have a content calendar because it just makes your life easier. Tip number 4: create your videos. Create them. Create a variety of videos. Use your music, use your captions, use emojis, whatever. But just make sure you're doing it. Do it and learn rather than sitting and waiting for perfection. And tip number 5: share your content. Share it elsewhere. Now, you said before, Dan, there's a little bit of a sort of conflict here, isn't there? Because yes, content for TikTok is just created for TikTok, but we do all now know it's also on Facebook and it's also on YouTube Shorts and it's also on Instagram. There is the potential to sort of cross-pollinate your content and share it in multiple places. Does TikTok also give you the ability, like Facebook, if you've put a post on Facebook, can you then go and, if it's a really good post, you would then share it to some groups or, tag some people in it and just try and increase the reach. Can you do that with TikTok in the same way?
You can share it to Instagram,
and
Snapchat.
Right.
They're obviously not going to let you share it to Facebook and YouTube because they are like literally direct competition. Although Instagram's direct competition, in my opinion.
Well, funnily enough, Instagram has had they tried to roll out short videos, didn't they? And they've had a bit of a backlash against it, and they've actually halted the rollout of that algorithm.
Right. So that's why.
So that was quite recent. But what was I going to say? The other thing that you can do that I like to do, and Dan, you're right when you say you should really repurpose this content and re-record it for all the different channels in an ideal world. But you can also, if you type in the problem with the TikTok videos is that they have the watermark on them, so they always say TikTok, so people always know where you got it, where initially produced it. But you can go on certain websites and download the TikTok video without the watermark on it.
All right, okay.
Here's the thing: if you're creating the content and you're proud of that content and you're trying to grow your TikTok account and you post that video onto your YouTube Shorts or your Facebook or wherever, is it a bad thing that it's got your TikTok watermark on it with your TikTok username on it?
I don't necessarily. I don't know the answer to that. I think some people may think that it's that you've not put enough effort in to create that content for that specific platform. I don't know. I don't mind it when I
I mean,
see
I
it.
think generally speaking, so for one of the things that we do at Grow Traffic is we cross pollinate all of our content. So everything, like this, for example, this is going out as a Facebook Live, but it will also go out it will be uploaded to YouTube and it will be uploaded to our podcast. When you were doing the TikTok videos, Dali, they were then going onto our YouTube channel also, and we were sharing it on our
Facebook,
Facebook.
Instagram, YouTube,
And
everywhere.
yeah, and I think it's fair enough. Not everything is appropriate to be made into every single, medium. Of course it isn't. But the more you can cross pollinate, the more you can share. And even if you can, for example, what we do with this one is we will create a 5-slide deck of our top 5 tips that will then be uploaded to LinkedIn as one of those, slidable PDFs. So if you can reuse the content in some way, repurpose it so that you're getting multiple pieces of content out of the same thing. I mean, that's the holy grail of content marketing, isn't it? So there's nothing wrong as long as you are also creating content for the platform. So, as long as you're also creating Facebook content, it's fine to share your TikTok stuff to Facebook. And just
so.
as you were saying, Dan, it brings it to a new audience. You might tempt some of those, older millennials might go over to join the Gen Zers on TikTok, mightn't they?
Do we really call them Gen Zers?
Yeah, apparently, yeah.
What about Gen? I thought it was Gen Zers.
No, we're not American. Go on, Dan.
I'm pretty sure Z is the American version.
Yeah.
Gen Zers, Gen Zers.
Yeah.
No, you're right. Z is the
when
American
we say
version, yeah.
X, Y, Z, we don't say
Yeah.
X, Y, and Z. So
yeah, you're right. It should be Gen Zers, shouldn't it?
Gen Z,
That's
Gen
how I
Z.
read it, yeah. Anyway.
Shows how America's taking over
I know.
lives with their social media videos and things. I dropped some money the other day, and my 6 or 7-year-old, that's terrible, isn't it? Nephew went, look, $1.
Oh, really? Yeah. Well, our godson is always talking about taking the trash out and going to the gas station.
Yeah. What I was going to say very quickly is reference videos and reposting stuff that you have made on different platforms, etc., etc. Also, don't be afraid to recreate and repost a video that's already done well on TikTok again. Now, it seemed really sort of wrong to do because you think, well, I've already, I've done 30 videos, and 25 videos ago, I already did about that. There is absolutely no chance at all that every single person that watched that video are the only people that are now going to see this new video that you do. The highest chance is that 2 or 3 of them at the most will see that same content recycled and redone, and it'll actually be a completely new audience that see the next time you do the exact same post, really. Don't delete a video as well. If you've done a video, Simon, you said you started implementing things slowly as you moved on. Now, in your A's and B's and C's of your glossary, if you did it in alphabetical order, for example, they're not going to be as polished, as well done, etc., etc. Don't delete them because they're still going to be giving some credo to the algorithm to say, right, well, this guy's about this sort of content. This is what he does. Remake them and make them better. Establish why they didn't do well. Recycle the content that's the exact same information realistically, but distill it, make it slightly more polished.
I need to redo them because I think the first 10 or so that I did kind of this and said hi all.
He did his
and
hi
it sounded like I was doing a Nazi salute.
He was going hi all, and it looked like hi all. And then Leon made a compilation video of all of his hi alls and stitched them all together, and it properly was like Heil. It was awful. But I mean, that's a really good point, isn't it? keep reusing it, keep learning. We've already said it, learn as you go along. Look at your analytics, use the analytics that come within the platform and see, what's working well, what got a good, have a look at your viewer figures and all the rest of it, and your engagement figures, and what worked well and what didn't, and what times of day were good. And you're right, keep reusing, keep reposting, keep repurposing. Content should never be just done and gone. You should keep talking about the same things. Right. I just want to say, Liz has just made a comment there, though, that she says that after that we've gone on for the last hour, we've still not convinced her to join TikTok. But there we go.
She's a Luddite.
It's your choice. Here's the thing. If you want to use TikTok and you want to grow your business, you have the platform there that will genuinely give you the ability to succeed, because the algorithm is that well done. People can grow from 3 followers to 300,000 followers literally overnight, and regularly do on that platform. I'm not saying that the second that someone logs onto TikTok, all of a sudden, they're going to be walking down the street signing autographs. But you might post 50 videos and get 3 views a video for the first ones. And then all of a sudden you post a video that is absolute magic and boom, you're off. Yeah. That creates a massive pressure to then keep creating content as good, which I think almost you can't let it create that pressure for you. But you can grow overnight on TikTok. One of the big things that I was just sort of going to say is, and I don't want to miss it out because I think it's really important information, encourage interaction on your TikTok account as well. So if you can ask a question and then give a little brief answer, but say to people, look, go to the comment section and tell me, what do you think? If you can encourage people to go to that comment section one way or another, literally by directly asking them to do something, that is a really, really good way to push your video forward, because the algorithm, again, and it all cycles back to this algorithm, the algorithm looks at it, goes, hold on a minute, people are really interested in this video, everyone's commenting on it, it must be good content, it must be valuable, let's push it out further and further. And the more people that interact with it, the more people that, comment and go to the comments and like a comment, etc., every one of them is pushing your video further out.
And I mean, this is the thing again, that when we're doing social media training, and it's no different for TikTok as any other platform to some extent, that that algorithm doesn't know what everybody is talking about in the comment section, and they don't care. They don't care whether everybody is valuable. They don't know if you're whipping up a shitstorm and everybody's falling out. They just see, oh my God, everybody's commenting on this video. Let's show it to more people. It must be really popular. So that's why a lot of social media ends up in this very negative headspace, if you like, because it encourages that level of interaction. But that's a story for another day. We've got a podcast coming up on that in the next few months. But absolutely, always ask questions, always get people to comment. What do you think? Would you have done it differently? Have you tried this? What would you do if you were doing it this way? Absolutely. Get people
if
talking.
It's let's say that you are a cleaner, right? So your job is you're self-employed, you go around cleaning people's houses, you charge X pounds an hour to do it, you're looking to get new customers. Do a whole range of cleaning tips and then say, and I use this product when I do this, but have you found a better one? And people will inevitably go to that comment section and go, well, I know that this is blah, 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 blah. That's all really good interaction and really good for your algorithm, even if they're being arsey sometimes.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's a lot of times where I've seen TikTok videos and people have literally said, look, I'm not bothered if you all want to go to the comment section and have a big argument with what I'm about to say. Brilliant, because all you're doing is pushing my video further out. Thanks for your help.
Yeah. And it is the same on Facebook, TikTok, Twitter, LinkedIn, all of them. Ask the questions, and if you can get people a little bit worked up and a little bit riley, if they get them dive into that comment section to tell you that you're wrong, they're only ever helping you. We have gone way over time, guys, way over time. So I'm just going to recap the 5 points and then I'm going to come to each of you for a final thought. So 5 top tips on using business to grow, using TikTok to grow your business rather. Tip number 1, have a plan. Understand what you are trying to achieve because that will determine what you do next. Number 2, do your research. What is already out there? What's popular? What's popular in music? What are other businesses like yours creating?
And
What are your
use your
audience
like and your
watching?
follow button.
Yeah.
Use your like and your follow button so you create your TikTok account around them things. Don't be frightened of liking a video.
Train, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Train the algorithm into what you need it to do. Yeah, absolutely. Number 3, have a content calendar because it just makes your life easier and you're not sitting there thinking, what are you going to do? You've already got a big list and you know exactly what you're going to do. Number 4, create your videos, film them in the app. Film them in portrait, then use some appropriate music or a soundtrack or whatever. Have your closed captions on, do all the tips that Dan came out with. Number 5, share your content. Once you've done it, keep sharing it, keep learning, keep looking at your statistics, keep improving, keep listening to people, get better and keep creating and share it in multiple places. That is it. Daniel Buckley, final thought for people, please.
It's split into 2 parts again, sorry. The first thing is make sure your bio is up to date. So put in who you are, what your business is about, how people can contact you, essentially, or if that's what you want people to do. If it's your website, if it's a link tree with all your different social medias in there, do something where if you make a video that really pops and goes viral, you've not wasted that opportunity. Your bio already tells people who you are, what you're about, how they can get hold of you, and you're going to get a benefit out of that. Also, don't be afraid to ask people to do things. So, and what I mean by that is, it sounds a bit seedy, that. Don't be afraid to use a call to action at the end of virtually every video. If you say, look, this is my tip for you. If you want to do X, Y, and Z, I think this is the best way of doing it, and I'm going to do some more videos about it later. So make sure you hit the plus and follow me, hit the like so that this video is in your likes videos and the algorithm brings you back, and I'll see you soon. Thanks very much. There's nothing wrong with asking people to hit the plus button, to follow you, and to hit the like button. And I would encourage doing that on a regular basis.
Yeah, absolutely. Calls to action. Good tip. Simon Daly.
I would my tip is just to remember that what you're doing is a form of marketing, and just bear that in mind all the time. It's very easy to create content, but a bit like Dan was saying, make sure that you call to actions in it. Make sure that you create content that relates to your products and services. Make sure that it helps your potential customers. You're not just creating content for the sake of it. You actually want an outcome out of this. How you measure that, how you gauge that the KPIs are up to you. But you need to be strategic and actually do it right.
Yeah. Okay.
Another tip: don't film with your face directly in window light and a poorly lit room, because the exposure of your camera is going to go backwards and forwards a lot, Simon Daly.
He's coming in and out. He looks like
he's going to be in and out of darkness.
He looks like he's in like a medieval chamber or something, a dungeon, doesn't he? Through parts of that, yeah, it's been interesting. My tip would be just do it. You can sit there forever planning and trying to get it perfect and worrying and what have you, but just film it, learn as you go, crack on. It's not as terrifying as you think it is. It's just a social media platform, and if kids can use it,
super polished. It
absolutely,
does not need to be super polished.
Absolutely. But yeah, people will forgive a lot on social media. You're not making a promotional marketing video. You are making a promotional marketing video, but it doesn't have to be professional quality. It's just quick and dirty as we like it. That's it. We have gone more than double over time there. This is supposed to be 30 minutes. We've gone for 1 hour and 7 minutes, which I think is one of the longest ones we've ever done. So if you've stuck with us, thank you so much. If you have if you're watching this back live on Facebook and you still have a question, please do put it in the comments, because we still keep monitoring them, so we will answer it. You can also get in touch with us or ask us a question at info@growtraffic.co.uk. Daniel Buckley, please also go put your contact details in the chat if you would like people to be able to contact you. If you're watching it on YouTube, please like and subscribe below. And if you are listening to this or as a podcast, please do all of the, rate and subscribe and tell your friends and blah, blah, blah. All the stuff you're supposed to do. Thank you very much. We will be back in 2 weeks' time. Don't know what we're talking about yet, because I haven't done the content calendar, because clearly I don't practice what I preach. I know.
None of
Terrible,
us
isn't
ever
it?
do we?
No. But for now, the sun's shining and we're going to go out and enjoy the weekend. So thank you very much. Bye.